What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video from beautiful Playa del Carmen. If you're thinking about retiring early, relocating, leaving the US, Canada, Northern Europe, or you're a digital nomad looking for a fairly affordable place to kind of duck out for a while, this video is for you. I'm going to show you one of my favorite neighborhoods in Playa del Carmen that nobody talks about. Vámonos. So believe it or not, guys, we are on the famous 5th Avenue, but a part that very few people actually visit. We're all the way up here on 112th Norte and 5th Avenue, as you can see right here. This is still the Donaldo Colosio neighborhood, which a lot of you have caught on to as a very affordable neighborhood. But we're actually going to hit a different neighborhood today that I've never really covered in my videos on my channel. We're heading to Nicte-Ha. I'll put up on Google Maps right there exactly where we are so you can follow along. Guys, this neighborhood really has it all. We're going to cover the pros and cons, but I think some of the cons are even kind of pros. It just depends on who you are. This neighborhood might definitely be for you, so stick around, guys. I'm also going to show a couple of highlights, some of my favorite places. In my opinion, this neighborhood actually has the best coffee in Playa del Carmen, so we're gonna hit the cafe as well. So my friends, I'll give you a little POV look. You can see there's new construction, which is always a sign of growth, but you can see there's gonna be a mix of new and old. This neighborhood's still a little bit rough around the edges. And but we're gonna cover cost of living here, because in the last video, we actually interviewed someone who's living here in Playa on only $500 US a month. I'll link that video at the end. But I think, you know, you can actually reasonably find rents in this neighborhood for as little as 4,000 pesos, or about $220 US a month. So quite an affordable place. We're also going to check the Wi-Fi speeds at this cafe and see if this is a viable spot for digital nomads. A lot of nomads and expats like to hang out at the Cacao on 5th Avenue, and the Wi-Fi is good enough to work there for sure, but I don't think their coffee's actually all that good, in my humble opinion. So if you're a digital nomad, this spot that I'm going to show you next might actually end up being your hangout. And then in a little bit, we'll actually go back into the neighborhood off of 5th Ave between 10th and 15th. See if we see any for rent signs and maybe even some prices so we can get some actual numbers. And guys, I am shirtless. I'm actually doing a run right now. This is one of my favorite 5K loops, because basically from Nicte-Ha down to the very end of 5th Avenue, the north end where we're going, is about 2.6 kilometers. So if you do there and back, you're doing a 5K. And so that brings me to the fitness and the beach lifestyle down here. Yes, some of the cons, you could say you're not very close to the Deportivo, the gyms like Evolve or World Gym, but you do actually have beach access at Punta Esmeralda, very close by. So I'll put up on Google Maps right there where the beach access is. So you've got beach access, you've got more of a running culture and kind of a bohemian kind of hippie culture down here. So you'll find things like temazcal, meditation, yoga on the beach. Just join the right Facebook groups, guys, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So this isn't so much of a kind of weightlifting community down here. It's more of a cardio community, if I could put it simply. There's a lot of cycling and running culture. And fun fact, guys, for you cyclists and runners, there's actually a bike path that begins right where I started the video, and that bike path will take you all the way to CTM, and then if you jog up to 10th from there, there's a brand new bike path. So you can get all the way into the center in 10 to 15 minutes on a bicycle, or about 25 minutes walking, and maybe 15 minutes depending on how fast you run if you feel like running into town. Now guys, I actually looked at these apartments right here. Keep in mind, people will still try to charge you foreigner or gringo price. I looked at an apartment, you can't quite see it from here. It's all the way in the back, up on the top, and actually has a pool. But they wanted like, I think 16,000 pesos for it. And for this neighborhood, that's just a little too high for sure. And then they had some smaller units and they still wanted like 10 or 11,000. I think in that video I mentioned I would offer 7 or 8 for those smaller units. and maybe 10 to 12 for the rooftop unit with the pool and the view. So to give you an idea on rents, you're looking at maybe 300 to 500 US maximum in this neighborhood, which I think for a lot of you is doable. I've got a series coming up on early retirement. I actually retired 3 years ago, and I'm going to break down exactly how I did it. And so these videos can serve as little budget guides on which neighborhood you could theoretically or hypothetically live in. And I've done one on Nicte-Ha, which is one of my favorite neighborhoods. I will link that at the end of the video as well, so you can see kind of the difference. If your budget's a little higher, you can certainly check out Nicte-Ha. All right, guys, let's go hit this cafe. Vamonos. All right, guys, we're only about 2 blocks away from one of my favorite cafes in all of Playa. But I wanted to highlight one more pro of this neighborhood as we listen to the birds and we see the flora, the fauna, the coconuts. I've even seen monkeys down here. And so to the east of me, just right here, this entire section is the Pulmón Verde. It's all green space. And so you've got fresh air, you've got wildlife, you've got all these different birds, butterflies. You're living in nature down here. It's still very much jungle. I've even still seen a few monkeys down here, which has become more and more rare in Playa. But this neighborhood can work very well for nature lovers and people who don't want to be in the center. So that's why I said some of the cons can actually be pros, because if you like your privacy and your space and your silence, and you like to listen to the birds, this could work out really well. Now, another one of the cons is still at night, they consider this neighborhood still to be slightly dangerous. I don't think it's all that dangerous, to be honest, but you're certainly not in Nicte-Ha. So for solo travelers, solo females especially, you'll see a lot of the solo females have dogs, which or maybe 2 or 3 dogs, and they'll walk their dogs at night, 1, 2 in the morning even. And that generally with the dogs, they're feeling very, very safe. But I just wanted to at least mention that this is not going to have the same level of patrols by the police as, say, Nicte-Ha over by CTM and parts of Colosio, where we just left in our rear view back there. So with that out of the way, though, I think this is an up-and-coming spot that should be on the radar for every digital nomad thinking about moving to Mexico, or retirees who are maybe living on a budget, social security, things like that, or a limited pension. There's a lot to like about this neighborhood, and I think it will be developed over the coming 3 to 5 years and start to catch on. But I wanted to give you guys kind of an exclusive Rope Monster sneak peek before the prices go way up in this neighborhood. So my friends, believe it or not, that wall right up there in the center of your screen is the very end of 5th Avenue. This is where 5th actually ends. This is the far north end, and I'll put up on Google Maps, of course, where we are. And here we have the beautiful Cafe Kawa, and wow, that smell drives me crazy. So good. We're gonna go in here and get just a little bit Java wasted and continue on the tour. I'll show you guys some of the prices here. This is actually where I buy my coffee, and this is a coffee roaster, guys. They roast their own beans here. This is one of only a couple coffee roasters in town that I know of, and I buy my coffee by the kilo, whole bean here. So let's check this spot out and see about the Wi-Fi. I'm gonna pull up fast.com and see if the Wi-Fi speeds are good enough for you digital nomads to work from here. All right, guys, so the Wi-Fi speeds get a check right here. 32 on the download, but 41 on the upload speed. So in theory, I could actually upload this YouTube video from right here. And the best part too is not just the Wi-Fi speeds, but the coffee, the quality, la calidad del café. So guys, I'm gonna take my favorite, is the kilo of Café Pluma Oaxaqueña, 415 pesos for the kilo. And the other best part is the service here, guys. I'm here with Danny. We got Danny, she's the best. Yeah.
Hi.
Guys, come visit Danny for sure. Gracias, Daniel. And then we've got Lydia. Y Lydia, quiere decir hola. Lydia. All right, guys. definitely come visit. And you can see behind Lydia here, they've got the actual roasting room back there. So fantastic lugar. ¿Sí puedo pasar? Okay. So guys, I don't want to bother these guys. They're working hard. But hay que saludar a la gente aquí trabajando duro para hacer el mejor café de Playa del Carmen. And yes, guys, I'm still sweating, so I'm still shirtless. And that's yet another thing I love about this place. They accept kind of the fitness community in here. They do a really delicious mango smoothie with, you can order it with no added sugar, but with honey instead. So they're kind of used to shirtless fitness people showing up in here, so I'm just staying shirtless. Guys, another thing I love is the prices. You can still get an espresso for 35 pesos, a double espresso 49, and a 12-ounce Americano 49. If you're more into cappuccinos, just 58 pesos, guys. So still affordable. Some of the cheapest and best coffee in all of Playa del Carmen. That's why you watch these videos, guys. Just remember to smash the like button for me, subscribe if you haven't already. Guys, Nicte-Ha has also expanded. They now have this other area here inside the glass that's actually air conditioned and very, very comfortable. And look who I ran into. We've got Agustina here reading her book, just enjoying some digital nomad life and reading Atomic Habits. Fantastic book right there. And guys, what did you order? ¿Qué pediste?
Yogur griego with fruits, honey.
That looks fantastic. How much was that? Do we know?
145.
145 pesos.
It's
that looks
a lot.
delicious. It's a lot, yeah. It's got like maracuya as well?
Yeah, it's maracuya.
Awesome. All right, provecho. So Agustina went ahead and got a delicious looking breakfast. They've also got traditional breakfast here, like chilaquiles, 125 pesos, red, green. They've got mole for 125. I might have to get something as well. Eggs Benedict with bacon, 155. So guys, this is shaping up to be quite the neighborhood. It's got a top-notch brunch spot, top-notch coffee. It's quiet, it's got good nature, low rent prices, good Wi-Fi. So the win side, the pro side of the pros and cons chart is pretty much full. And the cons, we really don't have a lot yet, except maybe the slight security highlight late at night. But apart from that, I mean, get yourself a dog and move down here. I mean, pretty sweet spot. So my friends, you're not gonna believe this food and the quality of this coffee. We got this grande cappuccino right here for 58 pesos. Absolute masterpiece. Speaking of masterpieces, primavera omelet with papas y hojas verde. Can you guess, guys, what this would be? This has bacon as well, by the way, guys. Should be a premium menu item, right? Wrong. 135 pesos, primavera omelet for the win. That's an absolute gorgeous masterpiece. It actually has padano, queso padano right there, Italian cheese, bacon, very fresh greens, and then going with this cappuccino to accompany it. So guys, it wouldn't be a Rope Monster video without some first bite magic. So we got to get some bacon, some cheese, some egg, and some potato. How's that for a first bite right there? Can you salsa me up? ¿Me puedes echar un poquito de salsa right there? So we got Agustina helping out with the salsa. Oh my Lanta, that's a lot of, oh, that's a lot. No, yeah. Guys, look at that right there. Next level. Oh my God. Spicy. All right, guys, fantastic experience there with Pablo, Daniela, Lydia. And guys, one side note though, they are closed on weekends. The owner's Italian, and the Italians, we've spoken about this in other videos, they like their rest. And so Saturday and Sunday they're closed, otherwise 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. Let's go hit this other spot. So this is the side street just next to Nicte-Ha. And I want to see if this place is open. And this place has this neighborhood has this kind of hippie, healthy vibe I wanted to, that I mentioned earlier in the video. And so if you come up here on that note, and you can see some of these buildings and apartments are absolutely gorgeous, hidden gems. But this is another place I wanted to highlight. They have kombucha on tap right here, local Diosa Organics. right here at this spot. Premium cold kombucha refill on tap. So I might come back here in a little bit and actually grab some kombucha, but I don't want to lug it around with me right now, so I'm going to keep going. But they have, like, I think Jamaica, maracuya, they have a fruit punch. Hola, ¿qué tal? Solo quería mostrar a la gente que este barrio tiene la mejor kombucha que existe. Ok, gracias. Recuérdame su nombre. Alejandra. Alejandra, ok, aquí estoy con Alejandra. ¿Quería saludar a la gente en YouTube? Hola. All right, guys, come visit Alejandra. Fill up your jug, get your kombucha, bring your mason jars. Buena onda right there, guys. It is getting hot. The heat is hitting, but I'm here putting the steps in for you. We're going to explore the neighborhood just a little bit. We're now up here one block off of 5th on 10th. And if you're looking to find an apartment in this neighborhood, you pretty much have to do it like this. Put in the steps and look for signs with WhatsApp numbers on some of these buildings, and you just have to kind of go block by block. And guys, I did want to mention the kombucha spot, 2 for 1 on Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Saturday. So definitely hit up the kombucha spot, support your local businesses. This neighborhood is tranquil, peaceful, and has kombucha, delicious coffee. But does it have apartments available? I'm going to put in at least 10,000 steps, see if we can find a couple of apartments for rent and maybe even some prices in this neighborhood. So I'll be probably making my way back to the south, but up here on 10th, and maybe even cross over to 15th. You can see even the caguamas are cheaper, 3 for 80 on the Tecate. Big boys if you're a beer drinker. Good news there. So guys, I wanted to highlight one other pro of this neighborhood as we're on the hunt for apartments and some real numbers here. There's very little traffic in this neighborhood because of the shape of it. There's pretty much no through streets. Nicte-Ha is kind of its own little world, its own little offshoot from Colosio. So you can see the name of this neighborhood right here, just so you can look it up on Google Maps and see what I'm talking about. Nicte-Ha. And if you look on Google Maps, maybe I'll throw up an overlay of the map right there. You can see that Nicte-Ha is its own little kind of box, and there's really no through traffic. So what you end up with is these quiet, peaceful, siesta-friendly type streets. So you can take your midday nap, listen to the birds. And this whole neighborhood is just teeming with wildlife, cocoa palms, and happy, happy birds everywhere. And some of these buildings have so much character. And if you're kind of looking for something unique or different, even if you're not on a budget, say you're just into more of this kind of vibe, I thought it would be wise to bring you guys this tour of Nicte-Ha. I've shown so many other neighborhoods in Playa, and this one is really special, and I think it definitely was time to do a video here. So hopefully you guys are enjoying the tour. Some of the murals, the street art. I know I'm sure enjoying this walk, loving every minute of it. And I always encourage people to get up off of 5th. This is actually 5th Avenue down here, and now we're looking to the south and now to the west to give you guys your bearings. So you can see the vibe here is just so quiet. Aside from a few occasional motorcycles going by, very little traffic. Okay, so this is interesting, guys. This is actually the unit I was talking about that they wanted $16,000 for way up top there. And we couldn't quite see that from 5th Ave, but we can see the back side of it here. And you can see that's kind of a cool place. A lot of natural light, windows on all sides, high ceilings. And you know, honestly, if I could get that place for $12,000, I would consider it. And what you would want is to have at least a bicycle or maybe a scooter to get around if you were living all the way down here. But But would I live in this neighborhood? Absolutely, guys. The answer is yes. It's definitely a different vibe. A lot of folks actually even speak Mayan down here. You'll hear the Mayan language spoken more, which I think is pretty cool. It's a tough language to learn, I'm not gonna lie. I've only got a few words in my Mayan vocabulary, but it's still a cool vibe for sure. And what I love most is probably for me the constant sound of the birds and just how quiet it is a highlight. Plus you'd get to save, you know, I'd probably cut my rent budget by like at least 60% if I was down in this area. So definitely a lot to like about Nicte-Ha. One thing I haven't seen yet on this street is any for rent signs, so I might jog up to 15th, the next street to the west, and see if I find anything. One thing you will have, you won't have a lot of traffic noise, but you will have some street vendors in this neighborhood, so do beware of that. Hola vecino, ¿qué tal? All part of the charm of neighborhoods like Nicte-Ha and La Colosio. Alright guys, so this is what I'm talking about right here. We just found a sign that says Se Renta Cuarto, and I'm going to ask these guys about this room. I don't see a price, I see a phone number, and I actually heard them speaking Maya, so let's see if they speak Spanish as well, so I can inform. And guys, you will probably want at least a basic level 101, 102, 103 of Spanish if you're thinking about living here, so that you can properly integrate into the neighborhood. This place right here says Se Renta Cuarto, and I'm gonna ask about it. I'm not gonna film these people out of respect, but I'll let you know what I find out in just a moment. Okay, those people were nice enough to show me the room. Very, very basic in there. And they wanted, actually, I thought he said 1500 at first. Is a very basic room with just a bed frame. And he said 3500, 3,500. That's actually kind of high for what that was. But you get the idea, guys. That's like $200 US. And so I think we could do better, and we'll walk around a little bit more. We're here on 5 Norte Biz actually, and Agustin Melgar. So the streets are a little bit different. They go back to having names on the cross streets rather than numbers up here, so it's a little bit more difficult, but I'll put up on Google Maps where I am right now so you can kind of get an idea where I was looking at apartments. I'll throw that on the screen right there. And now we're actually up to 10th Avenue, which would be probably the busiest street traffic wise here in Nicte-Ha. As you can see, it's still pretty quiet. Which direction we want to roll. So actually there's a new Soriana supermarket near here as well. So in the past you would have had to have gone way into the center to find a good grocery store. And I'll highlight where that new Hyper Soriana is on Google Maps. So in the past, you would have just had little tiendas and things like that, or you would have had to go to the municipal market in Colosio. But there is now a good, viable shopping option that's pretty much walkable from where I am right here. So I'll show that up on Google Maps for you to give you an idea of where you would be shopping if you decided to live in this quiet, sleepy neighborhood here in Playa. So guys, it wouldn't be a Rope Monster video if we didn't talk just a little bit more about local food spots. I wanted to highlight one place. I already ate way too much over there at Kawa. That was a delicious omelet at only 135 pesos, but also local spot here, 3 empanadas, Coca-Cola, 78 pesos. Fantastic deal. In the center, generally over like CTM area, you're lucky to get 1 empanada for 20 pesos, which is actually a pretty good deal in its own right. But to get 3 empanadas and a 500 milliliter Coca-Cola for 78 pesos, fantastic. There's also a carniceria, a butcher shop right there, another tienda with fruits. So you get the idea. You've got your beloved OXXO down there. and a little bit of public transport here, 7.5 pesos to ride the bus and get around. All right guys, last but not least, I have to show you the beach access that you would be using if you decide to relocate to Nicte-Ha. You're definitely going to want to be hitting the beach on the daily. That's why we moved to Playa del Carmen. After all, it is Playa del Carmen. So let's check out this beach access, guys. Here we go. As we leave Nicte-Ha in the rear view, you only have to walk about a block from Nicte-Ha into La Colosio, and you have the blue flag, beautiful beach, Playa Punta Esmeralda. So guys, just plenty of wildlife sounds. Punta Esmeralda. This is the entrance right here that you would be using if you're living in Nicte-Ha. And this place is such a hidden gem and a bonus because sometimes we have sargassum issues, lots of seaweed. So actually you can go this way and there's a freshwater cenote and little river right there where there's never any sargassum. The water actually bubbles up right out there, and then back in the jungle there's a cenote. And then over here you have the actual main beach at Punta Esmeralda. Usually it's uncrowded. Let's check it out here on a Monday, see what we're looking like. So you can see here, this is a very well-maintained beach entrance. The Zofamat workers are there cleaning, sweeping. You've actually got restrooms here, which you don't really have at a lot of the beaches in Playa del Carmen. Also a police patrol here. So nice, clean bathrooms, although don't expect toilet seats. Place to wash your hands. Shower right here as well. Place to wash off the sand. And here's the actual beach access. Right here, pretty close to the reef. If you're a good swimmer, you can actually grab your fins and mask and snorkel, and obviously a reflective buoy, and swim out to the reef for some snorkeling. So guys, here we are. Now we've got folks selling micheladas and drinks. But you can see no crowds at all. Yes, the sargassum is pretty bad, but you have that freshwater cenote and river right there. Can't sugarcoat it. The sargassum is pretty bad here sometimes. But you can see the workers are here actually cleaning up this section, and that looks pretty solid right there. So you could do a lot worse around the world if you're a digital nomad or an early retiree, someone looking to retire or relocate on a budget. Nicte-Ha life is a solid option. You heard it here from the Rope Monster, guys. Thanks for checking out the video. There you have it, affordable rents, pretty good Wi-Fi, excellent coffee there from Kawa, delicious kombucha, quiet streets, friendly neighbors, and a solid beach right here at Punta Esmeralda. So guys, let me know in the comments below if you would retire on a budget in Nicte-Ha, or check out this video right here if your budget's a little bit higher. This is the neighborhood where I actually live. I've got a full tour right here. Check out this video. I just did an interview with someone living here in Playa on only $500 US a month. Until next time, guys, thanks again for checking out the content. See you in the next one. Rope Monster out.